there's a feeling that this almost has to be a moment of real change. And yet there are so many headwinds, one of which is apparently Facebook. And the reason I say Facebook is because it's a place where literally billions of people get information and news, right? 2 billion people use this site. I mean, their metrics are a little dicey, but nevertheless, hundreds of millions of people get the bulk of their information and news from Facebook. Civil rights leaders met with Mark Zuckerberg yesterday. I think Cecilia Kang on Twitter put it best. She's a New York Times tech policy writer. And she said that these civil rights leaders went in with low expectations and were not disappointed. They came away from this meeting saying that Mark Zuckerberg gave, quote, incomprehensible explanations for not taking action against President Trump's looting and shooting post. They said he seemed to just not have really any understanding of so many of the issues that affect the communities of color that we're just talking about. Voter suppression, right? How violent speech leads to violence in the real world, whether it comes from President Trump or anyone else. And really, unfortunately, came away saying this massive platform for information, which, by the way, employees at Facebook are publicly protesting about themselves.
Yeah. And quitting, by the way. They've started quitting as of last night, this morning. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Kai's more up on the tech news than I am today, which is a good feeling.
So here's one. It's a software engineer. He says, I cannot stand by Facebook's continued refusal to act on the president's bigoted messages aimed at radicalizing the American public. I'm watching my company do nothing.
And this is look, these are the structural inequalities that we keep talking about, right?
Yeah.
When Facebook is in a position to literally have a self-serve ad system in which people selling houses can say, please don't show these listings to black people. Like, it is a big hill. And if they're having meetings with Zuckerberg in the midst of what is happening now globally, and he's like, I don't really get it, that's not a good start. That's not a good feeling.
Well, okay. So look, I'm glad you used that phrase because I was going to coin a question and I wasn't sure how to broach it. Have you ever interviewed him or spoken to him?
No.
I have not. Okay. So we'll do a little opining here. Do you think he gets it? That's a serious question.
I mean, look, he is in his early 30s.
Yeah.
He's an early 30s something white guy who had a privileged upbringing and education. Facebook has I think less than 2% black employees. You and I don't get it. Our lived experiences will never allow us, right, to really understand what D'Artagnan is saying. We can intellectually empathize all we want. We will not get it because we are white people. And Mark Zuckerberg is like white person times a bajillion. No one in his circle is expressing these things to him from a real lived experience, from a place of honesty and pain. He doesn't know anybody who lives like this, who talks like this, who tells him these things. And then on top of that, he's bought up all the houses around him. There are all these those studies that say the richer you get, the lower your empathy is, because your lived experience is nothing like the people you see on the news. So honestly, I don't think he gets it. And he's making a lot of money not getting it. And that's what you always say, right? Which is getting people to give up their power and their money is the hardest part. Yeah.
Yep.